I seem to have jumped timelines. I don't know. I didn't anticipate waking up in a new reality this morning. But it's happened. I could never, not ever, not ever, never have guessed that a Mario Kart trailer could have this kind of effect on me, could leave this kind of impression, could impress me to such a degree. As always, I will remind you, I'm not a big Mario Kart guy. I'm one of the only people in the entire world who's just not super into it. It's just kind of not my thing. Racing is just, it's very stressful. You know, it's a little too competitive. I'm not very competitive. Too stressful trying to get to the finish line and then just doing race after race after race. I don't know. It's not really my thing. And yet, Nintendo just revealed a new Mario Kart that has knocked my socks off. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about the trailer. There's going to be lots that I haven't picked up on. Lots of details to glean from this. Lots of little bits and bobs revealed, I'm sure. But I'm going to try to cover the broader strokes as I see them. This trailer is awesome. I really like a trailer that kind of ramps up in intensity. Because, like, this is the first Switch 2 game reveal. You know, it's the only one that we've had a little tease for, and now it's here at the beginning of the presentation, and so it's like, this is it. This is our first real footage of a real Switch 2 game. And it starts out so basic. You know, it starts out so basic. It's really just kind of Mario and his friends driving around. Here's some tracks, here's them driving around. The details, they start so small, you know? It's like, look, you can go on top of the water instead of, like, under. That's interesting. I wonder if you'll go under, too. I don't know. That's kind of cool. And then, like, oh, yeah, you're a plane instead of a glider. I mean, that is pretty big, I will say. If you are an actual plane and you can, I don't know. It may still mostly function like the glider, but whatever the case, it is now little wings instead of a glider. Oh, that's cool. And then there's like a snow sled. Okay, so like it's a little more adaptable to like the kind of terrain. Your cart is more transformation. Okay, that's pretty cool. You know, maybe that means there could still be anti-grav. That's all right. And then okay, yeah, the tracks look pretty big. You know, I mean Mario Kart 8 had the big twisty roller coaster tracks. These ones look pretty good. Yeah, these landscapes are looking pretty all right. It's okay. It's like a solid minute of it just like looking pretty okay. And then there around that minute mark, stuff starts happening. And it does not stop happening. You know, you're watching and suddenly like, oh, you can grind. Oh, that's kind of cool. And then like you barely have time to like register that you can grind. And then Mario's wall jumping. I still can't wrap my head around this. I still like, who even had that idea? Who even had the idea to let you wall jump in the latest Mario Kart game? But yeah, you can wall jump. Okay, sure. I mean, I like it. I really like it. Mario wall jumps. He's been wall jumping for decades. So like, sure. Mario Kart, your cart can jump like a Mario? Absolutely. Sure. Cow. And that was it. That was it. That was that was a real moment. You could be a cow. A Moo Moo Meadows. So like, see, it starts and then it just ramps up. You can drive one of the characters you could drive as is a Moo Moo Meadows cow. And then, and again, even that, it's a split second. Doesn't give you any time. And then it shows Birdo going into like a semi truck and then like becomes the truck temporarily and like zooms ahead kind of like a bullet bill. So like, okay. So now there are also like track specific temporary power-ups, which is awesome. That's another just really amazing idea that, and really like the sky's the limit. Like for that idea, there could just be like any number of just things, just stuff in these tracks that you can like get into and interact with. And I don't know if it's like whoever gets there first or what, but okay, sure, that's crazy. And then the bombshell. Mario eats a burger. Big one. Big one. Mario eats a huge burger. And I was already pretty excited from the initial tease that there was a burger stand. That already excited me. I'm a big burger enthusiast. Burgers are very important to me. And so seeing that representation here, Mario just eats a great big burger. I was screaming. And then eating the burger results in his costume changing, and that's interesting. Because yes, there's another new feature is costumes. I mean, finally, that's one thing that I guess it would have been surprising if they did another Mario Kart where like the different versions of one character are still like separate drivers. It was even silly in 8. So now it's great. There are costumes. I don't quite know why eating a burger changes the costume. Is that all that burgers do? Is that the only way to change costumes? It can't be. There's got to be a way to like get costumes, before a race. But maybe that's how you change into a costume in each specific area, so you can like match the area's theme. I don't know why it's a burger. Whatever. He eats a burger and he changes his appearance. But that is cool. Like throughout the trailer, we see loads of different cool costumes, and it's not just like Tanuki Mario, pink gold Mario or whatever. Like, no, it's a bunch of like really, really cool get-ups. Some of these are really, really neat. And then it's called Mario Kart World. Okay, so it's not Mario Kart 10. They did not go with the number thing, which is funny because they went most of Mario Kart's life not using numbers, and then suddenly they did with 7 and 8. So perhaps it should have been no surprise that they would just do like a cool name. I have so much to say about this. I'm overwhelmed by the task of communicating everything. In Mario Kart World, all of the tracks are connected together in one big, seamless world. And, I mean, even just like thematically, as far as like a Mario thing goes, like Super Mario World, Super Mario 3D World, it's a whole thing. And, Mario, he's always had these big world maps. And so now with this game, even just the fact that you can like zoom out and it shows like a world map. It's a Mario Kart game with a world map, and you're seeing all of like, it looks like a Mario world map. There's the desert place and the snow place. And, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like when we saw that teasery footage during the Switch 2 initial hardware reveal, we could see that the track was bigger. We could see that it kind of went out into the distance and, a big landscape and everything. And we were wondering if maybe you'd be able to go off the track. It kind of looked like you might. And I know, a lot of us were speculating, like, what if you could get out of your cart and like go or not wherever you want, but like go off into like these little like side areas or something. And, especially with the whole like burger thing, it looked like it might be fuel. We were wondering if there was going to be some sort of like brand new campaign mode, like a very different kind of campaign that like really kind of radically changed the way that Mario Kart works. This is not that. They haven't introduced like a, Diddy Kong Racing style campaign, bosses or whatever. And they have not introduced any other strange concept like, oh, what if it's, like stamina based? That's what it looked like. It would be like there'd be like stamina, and maybe you're going across these longer tracks over a longer period of time. Maybe they are a little more connected or something, but maybe you have to like stop at these things to like refuel. It does not seem that any of that is the case. This is less weird. It is less surprising than that would have been. And yet, it is so much more perfect, you know? Because Mario Kart 8, it introduced these crazy tracks. That was it. That was the hook, is the tracks themselves were so big. They were so big, and they were these giant, like, vertical, roller coastery, anti-grav things. And, you know, I played that, and I'm like, where do you go from here? Especially because, like, so many of the changes over the course of the series have been so incremental. You know, it really, you know, the first few generations really was just kind of, it's Mario Kart, but on the new hardware. It just, you know, it just looks better each time. And sure, there are new features. You know, Double Dash had the whole 2 drivers thing. But then, like, the Wii one was like, I don't know, motorcycles? It's kind of it. Online play, I guess. I mean, I guess the DS one kind of introduced that. That had the challenge mode, but that didn't stick around. So, like, I don't know, these advances in Mario Kart technology, they were fairly subtle. And 8 really did see what was probably the most dramatic addition, the most dramatic modernization. And it was the tracks themselves, and they were so big and crazy, I was like, where do you go from here? I really could not guess. All I could imagine was just more content, more like single-player stuff. Yeah, some kind of story mode or something. And seeing what they did here, I know they're not the first racing game to ever do it. I know there have been other games that have done this. But as far as, like, Mario Kart goes, I don't know. I somehow couldn't have imagined it. I wouldn't have imagined that it was a thing Nintendo would want to do. Even, you know, it's the kind of idea we come up with in a yearly prediction video. You know, it's the kind of idea you come up with in, like, your dream Mario Kart game. But it's not something you'd ever really actually expect Nintendo to do. And yet, seeing it here, seeing that it's real, it's perfect. It really is just a real and true evolution of the Mario Kart idea. You know, like, and sure, the tracks aren't as, like, vertical. They're not as, like, twisty and weird as 8, but they're still very big. And sure, that is going to change, like, the track design. You know, these do look a little bit more open. There's going to be a lot more, like, open and straightaways and whatnot between places. That's the kind of thing really don't know until we get it, how they actually play. But yeah, connecting them all together into one big open world, a seemingly seamless open world, every single track connected together in one big world map. It's unreal how perfect that is. Because, like, especially with, you know, it's the Switch 2, it's the new generation. Nintendo really needs to impress us. They really want to impress us. The Switch was so successful. You really gotta wow people. You know? Mario Kart 8 sold really well. How do you convince people to buy the next one instead of just, like, holding on to the Switches and just playing that more? Well, I think they've done a pretty darn good job making a case for buying a new Mario Kart game. Because it's just, no, it's crazy. And, okay, so yeah, again, they didn't introduce any kind of, like, big, weird campaign mode. There is just, like, your basic Grand Prix, but, you know, you go between 4 courses, but then getting between the courses is, like, part of it. And we don't know exactly what that means. There's got to be, like, some sort of competition. Maybe you get a bonus for getting to the next track, or maybe it's just kind of like an in-between thing. I really don't know. We'll see later. But even that idea is really cool. I mean, Grand Prix. I'm not even a big Mario Kart fan, so, like, playing a Grand Prix, it's fine. You know, it's a handful of races on a handful of tracks. Something about that idea of simply going from one track to another, actually driving seamlessly between them. Golly, I'm a big feel guy, and I can't even tell you what that's gonna do to the feeling of it. Just the enjoyability. That is such a humongous change. Again, not really that big of a change, but it really is a very big change. It is relatively simple, and yet it is still so novel for the series. And then they talk about Knockout Tour, which is their obligatory battle royale equivalent. You know, you got 24 racers, and there's just someone is eliminated constantly. If you don't get to the checkpoint with the right place number based on the number that's shown, then you get knocked out. And I love this idea. I really do. If I do want to just like race with people competitively, I feel like this is going to be my go-to thing. Because, you know, just doing a bunch of races and just seeing like who got better place and who got the most points, that's fine. But there is something very, very immediate and very satisfying and intense about this. If I do poorly enough, I'm going to get knocked out and be able to just kind of end and start a new match a lot quicker rather than like going through the last few races, just being like, there's no way I can win. I just really like the idea. I feel like it's really just going to get more and more intense the further you go. Can you imagine being some of the last players in this elimination match? And I don't know. That just sounds awesome. Sounds really great. But then free roam, because they've given us this big world, all these tracks are connected, and so they've given us the ability to just go. And I don't know if there will be anything to do other than wandering, you know, things to collect. I would really hope so. I feel like a little is going to go a long way here. If you even just give me just a little basic collectible that just kind of encourages me to go everywhere and get each one, I'm really going to enjoy that. But even if not, even if it is just a big world to explore, that is so cool. It's so cool. And of course, it's the Switch 2. They talked about all the new like chat features and stuff. So you're encouraged to just go off the beaten path with your friends, take your time, no competition, no time limit or anything. You're just cruising around with your friends, just looking at stuff, taking pictures with each other. Like, yeah, you can't get out of your cart, but it doesn't even matter because you stay in your cart. It's so cool. One, as a multiplayer thing, doing it with your friends, that does sound cool, but can you just imagine how like meditative and just like chill that's gonna be? Like turning on some cool music and just driving around. I just can't wait. The world looks big. I don't know how long it's gonna take to drive from one end of the map to the other, or like to explore every single map. You know, are we talking half hour? Are we talking hours? I don't know. But it looks like there's such a wide variety of environments. How are they even gonna like blend into each other? How do you even get from one to the other? It's so interesting. I always say that if you want to get me to be excited about a racing game, you got to give me a campaign or something. This is not a campaign, and yet they have done it. Perhaps even more so, perhaps even more deeply, this connects with me than would a campaign. Despite not giving me major single-player content in the form of like a campaign with bosses or whatever, or a challenge mode, they have still advertised to me, Arlo, the grump who barely even likes Mario Kart, a Mario Kart game I cannot wait to get my hands on. I never thought I would say that. I mean, like, even 8, it did look really cool. I remember, like, back, especially before my channel, when it came out on the Wii U, I remember being like, I mean, it does look fun. I don't really want to spend the money, but it does look cool. I kind of wish I could play around with the tracks or whatever, but, like, no, I need this. I need this. I want this. It's the further I go, it gets like harder and harder to tell like what games I would be playing if I didn't have a YouTube channel. You know, like there's probably a good amount of games where like I'm like, okay, if I didn't have a channel, I would probably, maybe I wouldn't get this game. It looks fun, But you know, money, everything costs money. Or maybe I would get it down the road somewhere. But I'm 100% sure. Like, no, I want this game in every possible scenario, YouTube channel or not. I need to have this game. I want it. I just, even if I never race another person, even if I don't have anyone to play with at all, I just want to explore that map. I have to. I want to do what they say. I want to go off the beaten path and just explore. I want to see this big, seamless Mario Kart world. I mean, do I even need to mention just the visuals, just the landscapes, just the visual style, and some of these tracks they look so cool. They take you up into the air. How are you going to get up into the air? I don't know. It's grand. It is grand in scope. Putting everything together on this one big continuous world, it's just precisely the kind of like next-gen juice you hope for. You know, it's the kind of hook that makes you just like, yes, this is the future. We are living in the future. This is the future Mario Kart that I could have only dreamed of once and now is real. It is real. It is in front of us. And additionally, the art at the end shows DK holding a burger, which is now my favorite depiction of DK ever. Period. DK has never looked better than he does holding that burger. And if the rest wasn't enough to sell me, there it is. Yeah, so I don't know. There's like, I still haven't really looked into the treehouse stuff. I imagine that there's going to be more info. They have to show off the game. I don't even know if I want to see it. Oh, I don't know. I just want to explore that world. Kind of want to go in more blind. I don't know. So we'll probably get more details coming. At the same time, though, there's a Direct. There's a Mario Kart Direct in just a couple weeks, so I don't know what they would want to show during a treehouse. I'm not sure, but this is what we've got right now. And yeah, I don't know. Nintendo just keeps delivering games from series that I'm not normally interested in that much. They're giving us new games that I suddenly have to play. They did it with Kirby. They did it with 2D Mario. And now they're doing it with Mario Kart. They're turning me into a fan of basically every series they got. I'm just floored. I don't know. I am absolutely floored by this announcement, by the new Mario Kart. I cannot wait to play it. Cannot wait.